The H1B Guy here, and today, the H1B Guy news for the week ending January 1st, 2021. But before we get started, I'd like to ask you, if you haven't already, to please subscribe to the H1B Guy channel here on YouTube. It helps me to produce more content like this for you. I also wanted to mention the H1B Guy offers a variety of consulting services. If I can provide you peace of mind by helping you bridge the gap between your employer and your immigration attorney, please reach out. I'd love to hear how I can help you. Today's news is brought to you by RecruiterNetworks.com, the smart solution for digital perm ads since 2001. Well, Happy New Year, everybody. I know I'm looking forward to what 2021 has in store for this channel and the H1B Guy platform. I'm going to just keep planting seeds and being me. I hope you will follow along with me. If you didn't get a chance to watch, please check out the H1B Guy Live 7 Immigration Predictions for Employment-Based Preferences in 2021. Find out why I think we'll see some changes in the next 12 months, and also we had another excellent Q&A. Now, the news. December 23rd, 2020. In an article written by Nick Kolakowski for DICE titled H1B Denials Still High for Consulting Firms, but for How Long? Quote, a recent analysis by the National Federation for American Policy, NFAP, showed that after years of steadily rising, the denial rate for H-1B visa applications had leveled off by the third quarter of fiscal year 2020. At least some of that flattening had to do with how the U.S. government processes applications, but there's still quite a bit of speculation about whether the denial rate will begin rising again once Joe Biden is inaugurated president. If there's a legacy to the Trump administration's attempts to reform the H-1B, it will probably be the policies designed to reduce business services and consulting firms' use of the visa. For years, critics have argued that those companies abuse the visa to bring in cheaper workers, undercutting what American technologists. Those business services and consulting firms have intermittently tried to push back. Earlier this year, for example, many of them launched a lawsuit against U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, arguing that they deserved a $350 million refund on H-1B visa application fees. Despite that pushback, USCIS and the Trump administration have remained locked on this reform path. The rising rate of denials, along with some other recent administrative moves, have been designed to protect U.S. workers, cut down on frivolous petitions, strengthen the transparency of employment-based visa programs, and improve the integrity of the immigration petition process. Although the average salary for H-1B workers at many firms is quite often high, that number doesn't represent the totality of what people on the visa actually get paid. The other big question, of course, is what immigration moves the Trump administration might make in its final weeks before Biden comes into office. There is no doubt President Trump's administration attempted to protect American workers and cut down on the fraud of the H-1B visa. This is all clearly evident. In doing so, they made a few positive changes. But as a whole, they really missed an opportunity. Looking at the data for new employment denials for 2020, it's still above 20%. And continuing employment denials above 10%. To me, this is more a sign of fewer petitions than it is of fewer denials. 3 out of the 4 years during President Trump's term, new H-1B employment denials were above 20%, and continuing employment H-1B denials were above 10%. So what does this all mean going forward? Well, I think that's a question that there are a lot of people speculating about. For me, I think we'll see a decrease in the denial percentages in single-digit increments over the next few years. December 23rd, 2020. In an article written by Raj Kamal Rao for Business Line on Campus titled A Big H-1B Holiday Gift Fails in Congress. Quote, proposed an early filing category for visas. Early filing was a gift created almost entirely to benefit Indians. S386 permitted applicants who have completed 2 years after their immigrant petition was approved to receive 3-year renewable EADs, even if their priority date is not current. This would instantly have relieved hundreds of thousands of H-1Bs from applying for 1-year H-1B extensions, always anxious that their extension applications may be denied and forcing them to leave the country. While the EAD does not give them the travel benefits of a green card holder, it would have given such workers peace of mind and employment flexibility that they currently do not have. There was no numerical limit to early filing EADs, so the benefit created a de facto pseudo green card with no limits. Aging out of children would have become history. H-1B parents are worried about their children's status when they turn 21. Current law forces such children to drop out of their parents' green card queue and drives them to switch to an F1 student or another legal visa to remain in America. Under S386, children no longer would have been aged out of their parents' green card applications for life. Path ahead. President-elect Biden is more likely to sign these relief measures into laws, but both bills have to earn a vote in the new Congress again. Biden has publicly demanded additional benefits for other immigrant groups, such as granting citizenship pathways to illegal immigrants, all rolled into one comprehensive bill, including H-1B relief. Such a move could stall again as parties bicker over a larger bill. Besides, in the new House, Republicans are more emboldened to resist, given their increased numbers, although the Democrats retain a slim majority of 222 to 212, with one seat still undecided. For the millions of Indians disappointed in this week's legislative outcome, an important principle of America's Constitution became evident. Passing a new law that grants new benefits is nearly impossible. But once something becomes law, it is also nearly impossible to undo it. So the Indian community must forget its losses and try again. This article came up in one of my filters and comes from a rather obscure source. The author Raj Kamal is a U.S. citizen with dual U.S. and Indian passports. I wanted to cover this piece because it talks about early filing and why it's important. It actually provides relief from the anxiety of going out of status and also gives some freedoms. This isn't one that gets a lot of attention, but it is an important change. I think we'll definitely see it again. The article also covers H4 Dreamers, which I've covered a good bit, and I think we will see something similar come up again in 2021. But the article closes with a glimmer of hope. Quote, so the Indian community must forget its losses and try again. That choice is yours. Remember who your champions were through all of this and help support them in addressing your needs going forward in 2021. December 24th, 2020. In an article written by Faraz Ismail for the American Bazaar titled S386/HR 1044, legislation depends on how much pressure is exerted. Sheela Murthy. Quote, Faraz Ismail, if the bill dies in the current Congress, do you expect the next Congress to take it up again? Sheela Murthy. Quote, there is a huge support. A majority in both houses, as we know, have passed the bill. The question is, what is the reason for it not to get past this Congress and whether those factors will prevent it from being finalized now so that it can be wrapped up in this Congress could be the same reasons why it may not again come back up because very few years we hear about it passing one or both houses. This is the first time both houses agreed to it, and now I guess there's going to be a little bit of pushback, as it is to be expected with any bill that comes up anytime. Because people don't fully appreciate it. Sometimes they do it for their friends or other people, and then suddenly they're like, whoa, I didn't know that this is the possible side ripple effect of this bill. What is the chance of it passing? It depends again on the pushback from the different parties. So, if there's going to be a delay now and it doesn't pass now, I believe that those same concerns will continue through the next Congress as well. Faraz Ismail, as far as Congress is concerned, is it a done deal that the country quota should go? Sheela Murthy, no, I think nothing is a done deal. You can never take anything for granted. Until the bill is actually finalized, both houses agree on every nuance and every detail of it, and it's signed by the president. never, ever, ever take anything for granted in politics, which is Rule 101. As we all know about politics in any country, in any part of the world, and equally so in the great nation of the United States. Faraz Ismail. So in that case, do you think it will require endless negotiations in next Congress to pass a similar bill? Sheela Murthy. So if both houses actually pass it, because there's still an overwhelming majority that are interested in pushing forward with this bill, then it could very well pass because we're very close to the finish line. Right now, the only reason that I can think is it is either because they take time off because of the holidays, Christmas break, and New Year's break. If they're taking time off and then they all rethink about it and they get a lot of pushback from their constituents, then there's a risk that in the new Congress, they're not going to be as excited to agree to sign it again, like the way they have with an overwhelming majority in both House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate. When Sheela Murthy speaks, everyone should listen. And here's my takeaway from this interview. As I've been saying this over and over, this isn't over until January 3rd, 2021, 2 days from today. But here we sit on New Year's Day 2021, and it sure feels like it's over. Her point on politics needs to resonate with some of you. Sometimes these things are about favors. Where have you heard that before? Sometimes it's about money. No surprise there. And sometimes it's just about what's trendy. We'll see what the 117th Congress has in store as it relates to immigration reform. But as I've been saying, I think we're going to see a lot of new changes in 2021. But it's going to require bipartisan, bicameral efforts in order for that to become a reality. December 28th, 2020. In an article written by Andy Uhler for Marketplace titled, H1B Visa Holders Hope Biden Will Reform Unpredictable Process. Quote, Sandra Feist, an immigration attorney, says, President Donald Trump's executive orders and policy changes deliberately made the process more difficult and discouraging for immigrants. On the bureaucratic front, what they've done is just make the process much more cumbersome and unpredictable, Feist said. She understands it's unrealistic to think that Trump-era regulations and rules will be thrown out the first day of President-elect Joe Biden's administration, but she's hopeful the tone of the department will change. She said that under Trump, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, or USCIS, changed its mission statement. During the campaign, Biden said he would support issuing more H-1B visas for highly skilled foreigners who typically come to the U.S. to work in tech, science, and engineering. This is one area of immigration policy where the Biden team has put out sort of lukewarm statement about his views on work visas, particularly high-skilled work visas, said David Beer. Meanwhile, there's a deadline hanging over Monarch Souther and his wife. Her visa is dependent on his, and it expires February 11th. They submitted the renewal in September, but Monarch isn't confident it'll get renewed in time for her to avoid losing her job. Unpredictable? Absolutely. Unsure, doubtful, volatile, moody, fickle, temperamental, just to name a few other synonyms. As I've said, I think we'll see President-elect Biden sit back and take a litmus test of the climate for temporary foreign workers over his first 100 days in office. It was popular to oppose President Trump's iron fist tactics going back to when he released his immigration policy back in August. Now we see the politician, President-elect Biden at work, taking a step back on a very combustible subject. Wait and see is what it sounds like to me. Yet, there are thousands of Monarch Southers and dependent wives fearing the loss of work authorization when they've legally earned that right. It's just not right, and something has to change. So here's hoping that starts in 2021. For the full post on the H1B Guy news for the week ending January 1st, 2021, please check out the H1BGuy.com. And reminder that today's news was brought to you by RecruiterNetworks.com, the smart solution for digital perm ads since 2001. This national job board network provides recruitment websites in 1,024 major U.S. metro areas. Each local job board is its own portal and is a low-cost resource for immigration recruitment ads for all industries and professions with a flat price of $225 per ad regardless of which city you choose. RecruiterNetworks.com has been the #1 place for immigration attorneys, immigration ad agencies, and employers to meet the DOL requirements for the digital portion of the perm advertisement rules. RecruiterNetworks.com. Tell them the H1B guy sent you. Well, hard to believe, but Monday will be another post of the H1B guy forecast, February 2021 visa bulletin. Yes, hard to believe, but it's already that time again. I'd like to ask you to please subscribe to the H1B Guy channel on Telegram. Follow me on Twitter. Links to do both of those are in the descriptions below. If you haven't already, please like this video. Subscribe to the H1B Guy channel here on YouTube so I can produce more content like this for you. Click the bell for notifications and select all so that you're notified anytime we go live or we post new content here to this channel. If you've made it this far, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to watch my content. I really appreciate your support. And from my family to yours, wishing you a prosperous 2021. The H1B Guy, your global source for all things H1B.